I'm a gammon. Almost there. I'm walking across my room. Oh, it's hard work. Oh. I might get a hoodie. I got a Star Citizen hoodie. Hey, hi, hello. I'm coming. I'm here. I'm here. Oh, let me just move some windows around. That's all nice and done. That looks good. We've got that there. We're pretty live. Oh. Let's have that up there. I think. Cool. Oh, slurpy, slurpy. I think I'm pretty ready. Hey, how's it going? Hope everyone's doing well. I'm not going to be online for too long today. I'm pretty ill. I'm pretty ill at the moment. I had and I'm still totally out of it. I'm mega sleepy, mega tired, and that never leads to the greatest streams in the world. So I'll stay for a while. I'm gonna have go have a lie down. It's a real shame that I've been rough over the last week. It is been obviously a relatively busy time for Star Citizen. 3.12's gone to Open PTU and now it's gone live. And there's a lot happening with the game at the moment. I'm putting out some content, but I wouldn't say it's my best work. I'm very lucky to have Zin around to be able to pick up a little bit of slack from me, but it's not been ideal. It's not been ideal over the last couple of days, or last week. But I'm feeling a lot better than I did, but still I'm now just super fatigued. I want to share with you the horror of halfway through my illness, when I thought I was getting better. I had the worst food flow through, is what we'll call it. Yeah, so you don't have to, so you know, more subtle. 36 hours, yeah, of within every 20 minutes needing the toilet, properly needing the toilet. It was hell. It was a hell made of the bottom, and it was not fun. It was not fun. I would not wish it on my worst enemies. But I'm good now. My stomach's good now. Good. You're a good boy, aren't you? Yes, I am. Yeah. See, it's a good boy. I can actually eat food and drink, which is great. But I am mega fatigued. So if you'd like to ask a question in brackets, and I'll try and answer it. I played a reasonable amount of 3.12, but I'm not sure really what my brain has picked up. Hey, Bored, I mined around Microtech, refined at Hurston L1, and tried to sell a new Babbage, but it declared my cargo illegal. Bugger working as assigned. Shouldn't have declared it illegal. However, there have been problems selling things in the game in live. Like we've been unable to sell our little parcels. We've been farming the hell out of the Christmas parcels. Like, I had dozens and dozens and dozens on one of my characters. Exodus, thank you very much for the sub. Very much appreciated. Oh my god, hydrate. Yeah, indeed. So, okay, so it's not very environmentally viable, but I cleaned up my room yesterday, potentially. It's sort of all the days have melded into one. I cleaned my room up like yesterday, and there were about 60 empty water bottles, plastic water bottles. I mean, I do recycle. It was quite excessive, but I was hydrating a lot. It was the only thing I could do was drink water without feeling deathly. Oh yeah, Easy Barry, I will check out the email you sent me as well properly, as well, once you've updated. That seems like a sensible idea. So yeah, 3.12's live now. There's actually quite a lot of good in that patch. The reputation system is actually pretty useful and makes bounty hunting a lot more viable as something to do in game. There's a lot more coming with Star Citizen still throughout December, it seems. There was some like more secretive... not secretive... some interesting features that they've talked about for 3.12. Basically, there is a dynamic event system now. And let's actually bring this up on the screen so you can see it. So they listed dynamic events. And they basically said, in 3.12, we've got dynamic events as well now, but unique missions and server-wide activities that will take place. Well, we are expecting that to be Xenothreat. We're expecting big fleet raids to turn up and us to have to deal with them. Basically, imagine the UEE Navy at Fleet Week, but a pirate fleet effectively doing that, flying around and causing grief. And you can turn up and displace them. Obviously, you want to do that with a lot of people because they might have Idris and things like that. And that's the idea of 3.12. They've added that Idris now in as an NPC ship, which is a big step towards having it in-game for players. But it's also a big step towards having a lot more gameplay in Star Citizen, I suppose. But there was quite a lot of good stuff in there. There's obviously a lot of mining stuff, refining as a new gameplay loop's been added. And that's pretty slick. Stuff looks a lot prettier. And we've got gravity tools. We've got the Talons, gas clouds. Gas clouds look cool. So points of interest, mainly space stations in the gas clouds. Lots of different types of gas cloud, or at least tinted colours of them. Yeah, it's pretty cool. That Talon is not going to be surviving anything. So if you get anywhere in the arc of fire of that front railgun and it fires at you, you are dead. Pretty much. It one-shot pretty much everything. It is a military railgun. Now, this colour scheme for the Idris, I'm expecting to be the one that the Xenothreat use, or one that we'll encounter soon. And when could we have these new dynamic events? Well, I'd expect them in the latter half of December, probably. And that's what it looks like to me. Also, people have asked, is that secret 3.12 ship coming out during 3.12 release? Now, when we talked about that potential new Origin ship, it was rumour and hearsay, speculation, and leaks. So it's not a confirmation that it is coming out, and it might have been something that they were looking to do but decided not to, or it might have been something that was being worked on a while ago, and people have talked about it, that they did see it in office tours. But it might not necessarily be coming in 3.12, or it might be. It might be something they bring towards the end of the year. So it's still a possibility that a new straight-to-flyable ship will turn up in 3.12. Robert Johnston, Merry Christmas, dude. Not that other Xenos scum heretical holiday. Hope you have a Christmas and Happy New Year. I do. I will. I hope. Words are hard. So I'm okay for just a quiet Christmas this year. UK's pretty locked down. I might see the rest of my family for Christmas. If it's sensible and viable for them to do so. I'm cooking for everyone at my parents' house. And if it's not, then I'll have just a quiet Christmas where I cook just for my parents. And that'll be fine as well. A New Year, I do like typically going around one of my mate Mike's house for New Year's, but it looks less viable this year. And I'm okay with the quieter one. I'm a little sort of ill at the moment, so I wouldn't fancy going out at the moment anyway. And even a couple of weeks away seems like, will I be awake enough to do that in a couple of weeks? I feel absolutely mega rough still. With the new refined mechanics in 3.12, do you think we'll see new cargo mechanics to include cargo loading times implemented in 3.13? We will see it soon. I'm not sure when. We will see the new roadmaps coming later this month that will give us a huge indication of what is going on in the next few quarters for Star Citizen, and then we'll know. Will I be able to customize my character into an e-girl in the future? What, like a a VTuber or like, yeah, why not? We'll petition Hexdus to make sure that you can be the e-girl that you want to be. So, yeah, 3.12, relatively happy with it. Didn't seem too crashy for me either. We were playing a good amount of time today with maybe just a couple of crashes over 8 hours or so. Zin and Zen were doing loads of bounty hunting missions and certification missions and trying to get the Mars Eckhart's Arlington Gang missions, because one of the other things that's in 3.12 is as part of the Arlington Gang missions now, the Idris is at the last one of those missions, or at least it's supposed to be. I haven't actually seen it myself, I've just been told that. Yeah, 3.12, Assault on Stanton. Well, let's see the Assault on Stanton. And I think we're all waiting for that now. We're waiting for those dynamic events to turn up. What I want to see is the value of resources, refined resources, being a lot more. Do you think we'll see a prototype of the new Crusader with the gas cloud tech soon? So, Crusader and Orison are planned to be in-game Q1, Q2 of 2021. That is the current plan, to have them properly in-game. Crusader is using some gas cloud type tech, like, okay, volumetric clouds are going to be used for some of that cloud tech, for some of Crusader, but effectively gas giant tech, as it were, is different from the gas cloud tech, because they are two entirely different use cases of the volumetric clouds and other effects. Although they are slightly related. Oh my god, it's so nice to be able to drink a cup of tea again, even. Hey, Bob, do you have any ideas when CIG will do an upgrade to their servers? So, CIG are literally building server tech out at the moment, for the software side, and they, as far as I'm aware, have quite a scalable thing going on with Amazon Web Services, which I believe where their servers are hosted for the most part. Or at least a lot of that stuff. Amazon Web Services, servers, whatever they're called. So we're waiting on things like iCache and server meshing and continual server updates for the Star Citizen to be in a much better place. They are going to be making progress every patch, but within the next couple of years, you should notice huge improvements. Within the next year, you should notice big improvements. They are building towards it being an MMO. It's just been pretty slow because they were working on that core tech and some of those core systems that they need to get in place first. And it takes a long time. So some people are saying they're experiencing more bugs in the actual release of 3.12 Live. I'm experiencing less by a significant margin. Yeah, just make sure you report everything to the issue council. One of the annoying things was the cockpit opening and closing. That's really annoying. That's still there. They said they had a fix for it. It's not fixed. it's not fixed. Still one of the most annoying bugs. I'm hydrating like a pro. Flying around doing a load of bounty hunting, because obviously bounty hunting's got reputation now, and I was like, actually this can pay out reasonably well, it's something to do. But my canopy kept on opening and closing in my saber. Did not even get the Talon to fly off the pad. What other area? I haven't actually flown the Talon in a live build yet. Flying it in the PTU a lot though. Where's the new roadmap? So the new roadmaps, they are coming out at some point this month. I want to buy a game package, but I see the discounted package, but that has the... What? I want to buy a game package, but I see the discounted package that has the war bond on it. What does that mean? You can buy that, but it's It has to be with money. You can't buy it with store credit. So yeah, you said norovirus. I think it was some sort of gastrovirus. It's unlikely to have been noro because I wasn't actually physically sick. It was only the other end. If you're fatigued, you should go to bed. There's only so long you can lie in bed for. I've been lying in bed a lot. I am just sitting down in a chair talking. It's pretty good, and then I'll go and lie down in bed again. It's not as if I'm burning the candle at both ends. If you burn the candle at both ends, you don't get much more light. Your candle just goes down quicker. What? Are they going to implement a system for ship components like Urkel in game, so we can see the actual stats? So they are going to be giving us the exact stats of the gear in game at some point, or at least a way of comparing it all. But yes, expect something like that in game, exposing the stats to an extent of items, so we can much better compare them. I'm not turning it into a sleep stream. They're weird and creepy. I think the gas clouds look absolutely fantastic in those points of interest, those Lagrange point stations. Now that 3.12 is live, what's your favourite addition to 3.12? I haven't done the Idris battles properly yet, so I'm going to hold off on 100% answering that. The refineries are a great addition, and the additional sort of mining gameplay stuff is pretty good. But the reputation system and bounty hunting, that is genuine progression for me. That's something I can sit down and do. Even if it's quite grindy, I don't feel like it's meaningless anymore. I get those certification missions, I go up my level as a bounty hunter, I go do more bounty hunting. Great. And I'm looking forward to doing the full Arlington gang chain as well. Why haven't we seen a tech demo of Crusader yet? I think Morph brought this up in a past video. Because it's not finished enough. You'll see it in probably middle of January next year. That's when they start showing Crusader off, I would expect. Is there a feature you'd want that does not exist in game now and is not even in their timeline currently? So features that I'd like, probably more in-depth crafting, allowing players to craft a multitude of stuff from ships to munitions and stuff like that. I like the idea of high-level crafting from factories as part of bases and things like that. I just like that idea. I think it has gameplay where you have to really dislodge an org or an sort of like a group of players. You have to actually attack their base to get them to move out of the system, so that you literally go bam. Now you've lost your production capabilities. You can't now produce your own fuel and ammunition, so we're actually pushing you out of the system now. I quite like that idea. If you put a helix laser on a prosecutor, what? Prospector? Prosecutor. Let's assume prospector. Do you need to upgrade the power plant? No, you don't. There could be a dynamic event this weekend. Yeah, there could be. I played 3.12 last night and found it very stable and mostly bug-free. But I was told my server was really good. And what's your experience been for stability so far? Great. Great stability so far. Zin's had very low frame rates. She's noticed. What else have we got? When are you on? How many other people are you on with me? Oh no. Can you please give your personal summary of Cyberpunk and its future, now that it was pulled from Sony? What? Pulled from Sony? I don't actually... I've been out of the loop with stuff. Cyberpunk... I don't even know what that means. Pulled from Sony? Pulled by Sony. Oh shit, son. Have a quick read of this. Sony has pulled Cyberpunk 2077, one of the year's most anticipated games, from the PlayStation Store and offered refunds to all players. Is that for the PS4 version, yeah? Earlier this week, unclear why Sony Interactive, when or if Sony Interactive plans to return the game to the store. The company is committed to releasing patches to improve the game. Okay, well, so I think that for people that were unable to play Cyberpunk, or it was so prohibitive playing because of their old-gen consoles or because of bugs, offer refunds. 100% for a released game that you were expecting to be not this. I think, yeah, you give them a refund. I mean, you have to for the PS4 and the it's just on the last gen console stuff. It's just terrible. I mean, it's unplayable for the most part, in my opinion. Steve, IMD, thank you very much for the sub. Very much appreciated. I am very much enjoying Cyberpunk. I don't think it's the best game that's ever been made, but I do think it's genuinely a great game. I've not had much in the way of bugs. However, I have had a good few bugs. They're very minor, though. Some occasional things floating, some stuff glitching, things glitching or moving around the map, not being able to interact with something, and then I just save and reload and sort of fixes it. So there's lots of quick, easy workarounds. Yeah, it's certainly not a perfect game. It's certainly not fully polished, and maybe it should have been a bit more polished. There's a lot of stuff I think should have been fixed in QA that wasn't. I think it's a great game. The future of Cyberpunk is, well, what I'm going to say is, I think Cyberpunk had contracts to fulfill, and they would have been unable to not release it on those low-end consoles. Like, they had originally said, yeah, we'll release it on the low-end consoles, no problem. They got to a state where they went, it's not going to run very well on them, but we have to honour our contract. That's the way I see it and the way I would understand it. And even if it was trash release, they still had to, which is a bit dumb, but that's the sort of way I see it. I'm glad they're giving refunds for the most part. I know a lot of people on PC that have been unable to play very well because of bugs or terrible frame rates. So, yeah, game was overhyped, but that was overhyped because it was hugely hyped. And it was never going to have to live up to that hype, but it didn't need to. It was still a pretty good game. I'm quite enjoying it. But yeah, I totally agree. Should never have been released on PS4 or Xbox One. It was below unacceptable, insulting, nearly. What about the fact they said to shareholders that it runs surprisingly well on PS4 and Xbox One? Okay, that statement could be true, because it does. I'm surprised it runs at all. I'm surprised that it runs at all. Okay, that's surprisingly well. No, you're right. It's the what I would refer to as the No Man's Sky, just bullshit. It is. It was just a line of bullshit that they go, yeah, it's got multiplayer. It's got multiplayer, guys. Okay, I'll play 40 hours of No Man's Sky to find the multiplayer. There's no multiplayer here. There is no multiplayer here. Let me get a refund. I can't get a refund because I played 40 hours. You played 40 hours. You must have enjoyed it. I struggled through 40 hours of the game in the hope that it would unlock multiplayer. But no. Turns out that was incorrect. Surprisingly subjective as hell. Yeah, it's true. But let me talk about No Man's Sky briefly. They sat down and they made that game genuinely great. No Man's Sky has had loads of additions and they have made it a genuinely great game. And that's taken a while, but they've done that. They made their game good. They did what, if it released now, like No Man's Sky is now, original release, people would be like, this is a amazing game. And people's heads would be imploding. And Cyberpunk just needs a few months of polish and a bit of tweaking, and it will be great on all current gen platforms. It's not going to work. It's not going to work great on last gen stuff. It's just not. I blame capitalism for Cyberpunk's bad PR. Well, it's a mixture of the studio and capitalism, the publisher and developers, because developers need to make good contracts. Yeah, they need to be aware of what they can and can't produce. I mean, we can talk loads about Star Citizen, but Star Citizen very much are not going to release the game until it's ready. I wonder how many bugs are going to be in Star Citizen when it is released. Robert Johnston, don't worry, I'm not offended. You didn't wish me a Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas! So, Merry Christmas to all of you. I'm so sorry, Robert. I'm not that needy. Anyway, I'm off to bed. To sulk. Night, people. Take care, buddy. I'm so sorry. Merry Christmas. Merry Sulkmas. No Man's Sky is too cartoony. Yeah, I mean, it's not a game for everyone. Elite Dangerous is too shallow for me. However, really looking forward to Odyssey. Really looking forward to the new stuff they've got in Elite Dangerous. I think that's going to make it very, very, very fun and a good laugh. It would be much more polished if Cloud Imperium made it, though. What are we talking about? No. Cyberpunk? What? I do appreciate you turning up, DC, to literally do what you said, shit talk me while I stream. So appreciate, mate. Thanks. So for people that don't know, Deathcore is Zin, my editor's partner, and he's one of my best friends in the world. He's very good at computer games, like sort of competitive-esque FPSs, even though he's 30 years old now. Scrub. No more Twitch response, bro. The no mobiGlass bug is back in the live patch. Any hope for fix? I haven't noticed it, but they're okay. They can do some server hotfixing if they need to between now and Christmas. A 3.12.1 patch is in the works already, but that is something that is mid-January, almost certainly. So sort of bear that in mind. Pardon me. Still not very well, so apologies for if I am sicky. Not actually sick, but expect extra apologies if I am. Will you be able to loot creatures in the verse? Eventually, yes. Probably farm them as well in some way. Skin them or something. Do you know if they intend to make a hitman as opposed to legal bounty hunter as a viable career? Yes, it's in game already. It's the assassination missions. They have the same. So in the personal options tab, there's assassination missions there, and they're basically bounty hunting missions, except they're illegal, and they even have the reputation system. They are from the gentleman called Vaughn. Are there any new missions in 3.12? So, the Arlington Gang last mission is supposed to have the Idris in now. There is no specifically new missions, but bounty hunting now is quite more expanded. So you have certification missions that you pay for the bounty hunting, and you gain reputation towards your bounty hunting missions, which are permanent reputation gains. I say permanent until there's a proper wipe. It's part of the long-term persistence now, and then the reputation system will remember how many missions you've done, how well you did, store up your reputation with the mission givers, store up your reputation with the Bounty Hunters Guild, and give you appropriate missions based on that. So there are more expanded bounty hunting missions, sort of, because of that. Do you think the jump gate location to Proro that was shown at the last CitizenCon will be part of the attack on Stanton event? I mean, they could technically put a jump point a jump gate in if they wanted, because obviously they've had that jump gate there. They don't even have to have it active. They can just have it there if they want to. So maybe. Obviously, we know the Jericho Station appeared, which is the INS UE station. Will we be able to buy pies in 3.14? That is a good question. Will we get Space Gregs, I think is the question there. Hopefully. Is the new roadmap up yet? No, it is not up yet. We are waiting on that. That will be before the end of the year. I had the same damage state you saw in the Prospector where the bags fell off. Do you think this is the first step in ore hauling since Tier 1 tractor beams are in? So, you will be able to detach that inside of bags in the quite near future, is what it looks like to me. And that will be in pretty soon. And yes, there will be tractor beam mechanics associated with that, it looks like as well. Where is the C2 Hercules? Expect the C2 Hercules for Q1 or Q2 2021. I'm expecting it for Q1 now. I was hoping that we'd have it, obviously, by the end of this year, but obviously that's not appropriate. Where do you find the Idris? So the Idris can be found in a couple of places at the moment. So if you attack a space station with enough of a criminal force, so enough combined criminal rating of ships, Idris will turn up and fight you, basically. It doesn't actually just have to be space stations, I found out, but that's the best place to do it, because that's the best place to get a large group together and get your rating up, and that's where they turn up most regularly. Also, as part of the Arlington Gang mission, so Miles Eckhart, who's now in the bar in Lawville, if you do, he will eventually give you an appointment to see him. So you get an appointment to see Miles Eckhart as a mission giver. If you do missions for him, you'll get the Arlington Gang set of missions at some point, and then going through those, eventually you'll fight an Idris. And the other expectation is that there is going to be some dynamic events that happen in 3.12 that will be sort of like the Xeno threat raids or big Idris attacks and stuff like that. I've not got to any of the endings in Cyberpunk 2077. The days I've been ill this week, which was most of this week, I've been really unable to play games because I've had a migraine. Just like, I've done about 35 hours of Cyberpunk, and I've just got to the end of Act 2. I'm really happy with the length and gameplay in Cyberpunk for the most part. I wasn't very happy with a few things, and I've mellowed out about some of those things now. So, the gunplay, I'm not happy with some of the guns and how they perform. But there's guns that do suit my needs. So I'm happy to use those. Some of the melee, I'm not happy with. But the katanas and the mantis blades, I do really like. So there's stuff that sometimes I feel like it hasn't got enough punch or enough hit or enough weight or it doesn't feel good. I am not really stealthy character, but I've actually really enjoyed doing a little bit of stealth. So the next character I make, I'll do a stealth character. Also, I was a male character. I was unable to romance one of the characters I wanted to romance because they're not into me. And I was like, come on! Got entirely shut down. But yeah, very much enjoying Cyberpunk. I'm fine for games developing for 8 years, 10 years, 12 years, whatever they need. I just wish that Cyberpunk had a little tiny bit more polish on it. That said, I was... Maybe not for me, I don't know. Robert Johnston! Not sure I can stop watching now. The possibility of seeing explosive diarrhea on live stream is keeping me up. No. My bum is now good. He's a good boy now. I had Imodium, which is sort of diacalm stuff. That was perfect. I just want people to know, I actually think that over the last week is the illest I've ever been in my entire life. I got a bit ill and I was a little bit worried. And I was like, I'm too... And then I got so tired I just didn't care. So I'm just going to bed. And I was like, oh, Tin, can you... I'll read some scripts and stuff, and you're going to have to sort of carry and do all the editing without much input from me, because I'm literally too tired. And I can't process stuff properly in my brain. I can talk, but I can't take anything in. I just can't take anything in. And there's all this stuff coming out. So I'm gonna... We'll have to work something out. And we've got a reasonable amount of content out. I wouldn't say it's my best stuff or anything like that. And I appreciate everyone still watching, and yeah, I genuinely appreciate the community. Thank you very much. But I was really fucking rough. I was really fucking rough. Glad to see that. Yeah, I'm a billion times better than I was, but I'm still pretty rough. Yeah. I think it's a good thing that I've never been that ill before as well, because I still wasn't that ill. I think it's a good thing that I've never been very, very ill in my life. It was like I basically just had a really bad flu. Yeah. And it doesn't appear to have been coronavirus. I didn't have any of the symptoms of coronavirus. I've got my old thermometer boy. Do a thermometer check on stream. It says error. Is that... What? Why are you erroring? .36.3. That's degrees Celsius. That's good. That means I'm healthy. Probably. Do you think Cloud Imperium should give us a vote in the changing of ships? We sort of do have a vote in that. So feedback and the threads and you talking to the devs and the community talking about it on the forums, that is your vote. Seems a bit unfair. One concept says one thing and the final release is completely different. So what ships are you talking about specifically that are completely different? So 100% gameplay changes and the mechanics change from what they originally said, but it is still broadly the same, right? I can see people with the Redeemer that wanted a dropship. They've now got a gunship. Yeah. Did they fix NPCs standing on furniture? I have not seen an NPC standing on furniture yet, but typically I am just running around. Oh, am I not loud enough? But literally, I've been just grabbing Christmas presents from everywhere. There's Christmas presents around all the landing zones, so you can sell for money. And just grabbing them all. Just that's all I'm looking at. But I agree with you that it is annoying when ships change. Okay, but okay. The game is going to change significantly between now and release, and at that point, most of the ships, if not all the ships, should be in a state where they are focused at their intended role and relatively balanced for that role compared to other ships, and they sort of will all be on their little podiums of where they should be, and all tiered and everything. So, is it annoying when they change the missiles when you've bought a Talon Shrike? Yeah, because you're like, well, missiles are no longer super OP, but they still have a purpose, and they still can get that purpose and balance correct so that your ship that you bought still fits that without being too overpowered. What you want is nothing to be too overpowered unless it's supposed to be overpowered, and then there are costs to that overpoweredness. So if you go, well, I've got a Perseus and I can take out your Hammerhead pretty easily, well, it's going to have vulnerabilities. It's going to have issues with other things like swarms of fighters or swarms of fighter bombers are going to be able to wreck a Perseus, in my opinion. What's your favourite shipboard? It changes from day to day. I'm quite liking the Mercury StarEngine at the moment. I'd say that's probably my favourite ship, but that's because it is the most developed, most fleshed out ship with lots of systems that I've seen. Like it's got all the the door locks, and it's got all the light systems, and it's a cool looking ship, and it's a cool mission runner, and I love the Mercury Star Runner at the moment. I thought Harry Potter was the arbiter of British culture in the States. Do you commonly say Happy Christmas or Merry Christmas? Merry Christmas. Although the more politically correct way of saying it at the moment, I think, is Happy Christmas. I say Merry Christmas. Star Citizen will definitely be VR capable. It will very likely be VR capable at some point. It's extremely high probability. I was hoping that we'd have the full Vulkan support stuff, at least the first tier of Vulkan for 3.12, which I think they are building towards that still, or at least there's more gone into 3.12 for that, but it's still not there. Do you think the jump location? I talked about that. Do you think investing in a Caterpillar is worth it with the current state of trading? 30k still happen, although they happen a lot less. At least they've happened relatively well. Actually, I don't think I've played enough 3.12 live to actually say that. I don't know the long-term stability of the servers. I'll have a play over the weekend, see how that feels as well. I'm going to be doing some stuff with synchronizers on the weekend. I'm going to be doing some attacking of Idris, so you'll see some good gameplay of that soon. Do I think the Caterpillar is worth it? It's a great trade ship at the moment. And you can make some good money. That is true. There are risks associated with that because of 30Ks and you just lose it. The new insurance... Okay, so this is something I haven't really talked about much, but the new insurance timers, they are probably the least good bit of 3.12. They are a bad choice at this stage, in my opinion, for Cloud Imperium. Because basically the new insurance timers go... You can expedite your ship, but it costs a lot more. The timers are a lot longer. I mean, and it's several times longer and several times more to expedite the cost of a ship. That is not great if you own just a Mercury Star Runner and then you have to wait 40 minutes every time something goes wrong. Like a server crash. Well, now I have to reclaim my ship. Oh, now I've got to wait 40 minutes. Huh. Okay, I'll pay the 7,000 Alpha UEC expedite cost. I've got to wait 15 minutes. Okay, I spawn my ship. Oh, there's another crash. So that's not great. Fine when the game's totally stable and we've got a bit more in there. But just some of these more expensive ships are now liabilities almost because of that. So sort of bear that in mind because they're expensive and take a long time to spawn. Other than docking, is there any other blockers to get the Idris as a pilotable ship? Finishing off the interior of the Idris to be fully pilotable properly. So, I've seen devs spawn in an Idris and fly it around, but having all the systems work properly in an Idris to have it flyable in game and all the lighting and everything like that properly done for the Idris is a different magnitude. So it is not finished because they have not gone, we want to put it in for players yet. When they do that, it'll probably be like a quarter of work to get it in. The new roadmap is not up and running yet. No. Any news on secret ships of 3.12? So no, there's the Origin ship that we've previously talked about and alluded to that Star Citizen Leaks talked about. It could turn up in 3.12 as flyable. It could just be something that's coming later. How long before NPCs can be dragged into your ship and put into the hibernation pods? So I actually talked about a bit about this in the video I released earlier, just before I started streaming. So Bounty Hunting's had some updates basically with 3.12. And we know that there's going to be the ability soon to be able to pull out your weapons in stations and landing zones. They're going to be relaxing the armistice zones, basically, in those areas. We know that they have got a lot of work coming on bounty hunting over the next few quarters. And there's a new player status system. There's the new medical updates, less than lethal weapons, and we should actually then start to see players be wanted dead or alive, stunned, and be able to be deposited at inside a cryopod or whatever, and then taken to an advocacy station to make money. So that I would expect to be coming actually relatively soon, some point next year. Have they reworked the M50 yet? I believe so, yeah. There's only minor updates. Know anything on computer blades? Yeah, I mean, they're working on exactly what functionality computer blades are going to give. They're going to give a huge amount of functionality, lots and lots and lots of different types of computer blade. Some will automate your countermeasure systems. Some could allow you to slave a turret. Some could automate a turret. Some could give you bounty hunter database information. Some could be for e-warfare or e-warfare protection. So loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of different types of computer blades for automation or expanded systems and things like that. And they're working out exactly what they want in game at the moment still. So yeah, everyone currently has a free Drake Dragonfly to use. If you refer someone and they become a recruit, you both get a Drake Dragonfly as well permanently with lifetime insurance. When we were about to use tractor beams and armistice zones. So this is one of the more annoying things. You've got a load of missions to pick up boxes, especially with the new present missions, for example, throughout 3.12. Lots of Christmas box delivery missions. You can't use the tractor beam, the handheld tractor beam, in armistice zone because you won't let you pull you out. It won't let it pull you out. But it won't let you. It won't allow you to pull it out. Ha! I got you. Yes, words. So that's really annoying. So that needs to come in soon. Otherwise, there's very little use having them at the moment beyond looting in the EVA when you find a ship to loot. New roadmap maybe later today? It's possible. We could have it for the weekend. They haven't said anything. I would expect it like next week, maybe. Yeah, so they've changed and updated all of the mining gear. So for the Prospector, for the Mole, those mining lasers have been changed and updated. And mining's had a big overhaul. So the Arbor standard mining laser, which you'll get on your rented Prospector if you rent one, that is really viable as a mining laser now. You are able to mine a lot more with it. It is very much closer to the other mining lasers in forms of power, in terms of power. So that's actually pretty good. And lots of the changes they've done to mining make it pretty fun. There's no actual ETA on a Star Citizen 1.0 live release. I'm expecting about 4.5 years. What do you think about the fact in Cyberpunk you can't actually fire from your car? The driving gameplay is to get you from A to B. It's not great. The shooting in the cinematic fights would be much better if it was more visceral and there was a lot more going on. I find that typically you've got a relatively good semi-accurate weapon or a powerful pistol. You can take out any enemies coming towards you within a couple of seconds anyway, and then you're just sort of, what am I doing here? Or some of them might not be able to be destroyed until certain times. So you've got this like flaming car that you'll keep on shooting, and then it will ram you or something. You'll be like, what? I've been shooting you for 10 minutes. So some of these scenes aren't the most dynamic and great, but you know, it's pretty cool. Cyberpunk's pretty cool. Don't you think Attack on Stanton as server events are shockingly premature for the state of the game? Many can't even play. I mean, no, I don't actually. I think that they need to be pushing gameplay in. Some can't play, but a lot of people can play. And some people that can't play, there are tweaks and bug fixes that are needed to solve that. Some are edge cases, but many people can play, and they want to be constantly making a push towards the game and more gameplay, because they're not constantly just bug fixing. They're pushing, they're building more and more gameplay into the game and getting the game more ready for release, and then they're going to do giant amounts of bug fixing before release. But them to keep on bug fixing now with each major patch, like huge amount of bug fixing, is not really viable. Do you know if they are going to hotfix the can't sell gifts? I hope so, because I want to sell the gifts. I got loads of them on me. Yeah, Chris Roberts is holding my hair when I was feeling sick. I find the flight movements janky. I don't find the flight that janky. I find running around my character pretty janky. Are they still planning on reworking the flight movement so that ships moves less erratically? So you're going to see tweaks to the flight model and tweaks to all of that. And if you're experiencing lots of jank, that's probably server and server related, bad code related, or bad connection related, and that should get a lot better over time as well. I have not tried the Toby head tracker yet, but I have got one coming to me at the moment. Me and Sin have both got Toby head trackers, and we're going to be doing some work on that. How will farming work on Star Citizen? Not 100% sure. We know there's going to be biodomes. We know there's going to be the opportunity to farm with biodomes on the Endeavour. Expected ways of doing that is you're going to have seeds going to different suns and different areas and different stars for different types of sunlight. And different areas are going to allow you to grow your veg, but you're also going to have to choose the fertilizer and how you look after them and all that sort of stuff. And then you'll be able to sell those that produce in certain places, or use it as part of the science sort of gameplay. Potentially, you're going to be able to change the topsoil on planets and farm on planets as well. Or we'll be able to do arable farming. Well, maybe. They are building out space cows at the moment. What ship would you recommend for solo bounty hunting and running delivery missions every now and then? A Avenger Stalker. Yeah. Can we expect a sale for straight-to-flyable ship for the luxurious ship Mola this year? Or will it be after Christmas? What? Any extra chips I would expect after Christmas for 3.12 or around Christmas. Do you think... What do you think of the Mercury Star Runner vid where they used the hidden panel to close the door when they should have used the right door panel? Oh my god, you're right. Well, it's a custom one, isn't it? Thank you very much for the monies. Appreciated. Robert Johnston. The next great starship was always a gunship. It was a gunship dropship though, wasn't it? Sure, the running version had drop seats, but it was still a gunship. Okay, we need to go to bed. No worries, mate. You take care, buddy. What else we got? Do you think the Constellation Taurus will have a ramp in the rear of the ship? Do you think it will have a significantly higher cargo capacity? It's supposed to have a higher cargo capacity. I'm interested to see what the finished rework looks like. So, higher, significantly higher, probably not significantly, but a good bit higher. I mean, it is cheaper than the other constellations for a reason. I don't think it will have a ramp. I think it will be cargo elevator still. What is your favourite ship when you consider every ship being up to date? I mean, I want a Javelin, if that's what you mean. Do you know anything about the Hercules C2? We don't. We know that Cloud Imperium have been working on it. I'm expecting it in Q1 or Q2 of 2021. Hopefully Q1. Looks more likely Q1. But we'll know when we see the roadmap updates, which will be coming out later this month. The Talon can open and close its wings at will, although this doesn't do anything for ammo at the moment. It does make for a smaller hitbox. Can we get this for the Sabre or the and VG? They are supposed to be decoupling that for all ships, but it will affect your flight performance. What would you say the success rate is of mission-given missions so far in 3.12? Every patch I try at all, I've actually been able to complete 2 this whole year. So the reputation system should allow them to be a lot more stable in getting those missions, because you'll build up the reputation with them and then you'll be able to take those missions, and sometimes you'll have to wait a while if the mission's kept on crashing and counts as you failing before you get it again, or get one of those missions. But it should be more stable overall. I haven't tried out all of the mission-given missions yet, by any means. I am still trying to do the Mars Eckhart one. He has not even sent me an invite yet, the Mars Eckhart mission to go and see him. So I would expect them to be more stable than they were last build. I mean, they certainly have received... they've certainly been looked at a lot by CIG for 3.12 because of the new reputation system. What's the likelihood we get a ship like at the Slave I once landed sitting perpendicular? Isn't the default state? What? I'm very confused. Do you think CIG will release ship components to purchase like ships maybe with lifetime insurance? So they have that manufacturer purchase system on the website for the 300 series, where you could buy sets of gear, sets of components with the ship with real money. I don't think they'll individually sell components again. The stuff you'll get in game. The reason I don't think they do that is because it's too obviously greedy and pay to win. Do you know what I mean? When they start selling stuff like that individually, people are like, we knew it was pay to win anyway, because you could buy ships, or at least we could deem it pay to win. But now you're going the scummy pay to win route. The funny thing is, when I've been ill, when I was talking about it, I was being ill. Like, oh, is that like? So that's corona, right? Or is it changed then? I was like, no. Just because the coronavirus exists does not mean that every other illness has stopped. I've got ill with something else. Sorry that I keep on yawning. Apologies. We very much enjoyed Back for Blood the other day. I played with a very dysfunctional group of my friends, all my friends as I call them, and everyone was highly non-conformative, unfortunately. When I was like, let's run this way, nope, come on. We replayed it since, and it was very fun. I played it on stream, and I was like, "This is hard." But yeah, it's Back for Blood is basically like Left 4 Dead. It's done by Turtle Rock that did Left 4 Dead. It is Left 4 Dead, and it is got like a little card system with it as well. So every round you evolve your dude with like a little mini ability, and the enemy AI director also gets cards, which can include giant behemoth doom dudes, the ogres, or different types of zombies and things. So it gets progressively harder and more interesting, and every run is different. So there's some pretty cool stuff with it, and it's had its alpha weekend. It's having its alpha weekend now until the 21st. You can go to backforblood.com, I think, to get a key if you want to. That's pretty good. I was quite enjoying it. Where's 3.13 on the roadmap? We're waiting for the new roadmaps. And 3.13 is the Q1 2021 patch. So March it's going to be released. Do you think we'll see creatures in game? When do I think we'll see creatures in game? There is dedicated teams working on creatures. I think we could start to see creatures as early as the end of next year. Or at least work that looks like they are getting close to completion. Question about mining and refining and the benefits of refining versus mining. So basically, refining takes a bit of time and a little bit of extra money, but what you get from that refining process makes the materials worth a lot more as long as you're refining it in the right place. Because the refineries have proficiencies, so as long as you're not like getting, as long as you're getting more with the proficiency as well, then you're going to be making a lot more money. Depends, do you want to just sell your stuff straight away, or do you mind waiting that extra bit, a little bit extra to get a bit more? When do you think we'll see ship-to-ship docking? So ship-to-ship docking is the final stage of docking. So we've got hard dock, which is the Constellation and P-52 snub docking, the parasite docking. That's being worked on at the moment. That's going to be in the game very soon. Okay, very soon. They've sort of got prototypes of that working and everything. Then they've got ship-to-station docking. That's being worked on as well. That'll be in game pretty soon as well, within the next couple of quarters, it looks like to me. And that will allow ships to dock with space stations, BAM, and potentially allow for larger ships in the game, and things like the Hull C in game. But they do need to finish off some other little bits with like Cargo version 2 and some other bits, and they need iCache for that as well. So not immediately going to be, they've got ship to station docking, we've got to get the Hull C in now, and all the capital ships. They need some other stuff as well, and they do need to complete the ships setups. And then after that, that's coming later, is ship to ship docking, which allows two ships to literally dock together. I'd love the updated Vandal ships in the Persistent Universe and in Vandal Swarm, and I'd also like to see Vandal with their spears. That's not a euphemism, or maybe it is. What else have we got here? I'm not going to stay online for too much longer. As I said, I am pretty ill still. I'm pretty tired. I thought it was worth coming on and saying hello to people, having a bit of a chat. Yeah, I really liked the reunion. That reunion video was great. That Star Citizen short was great. We'll have a watch of that in a second. If you apply a ship upgrade, can you remove it? So if you apply a ship upgrade in your hangar, so from the website, yeah, once you've applied that, you can't remove it unless you melt everything. And then you get your money back that you spent. But you can't remove the upgrade, no. You can upgrade it again. Has there been headway in iCache? Assumedly so. We're expecting iCache Q2, Q3 next year. Will there be some gameplay with creatures like a farmer or something? I'm expecting fighty, killy creatures. Could we have farming? We could. We don't know the exact gameplay options that are going to be available for all the different animals. Definitely going to be hunting type stuff. I mean, we know there's a Yeti on Microtech. We know there's a big Cthulhu-esque crab on one of the Pyro planets. We know there's going to be space cows and Ranta and lots of things in between. Is Xenothreat the big surprise? I think that's one of the surprises for the end of the year. Surprises. Some of the dynamic events is one of them. That will be almost certainly a fleet like Fleet Rig fleet flying around that's actually an enemy pirate fleet, but it's more of a server-wide raid. Unable to sell Hadnite at some of the station admin areas. Yes, so there's a lot of areas where you can't sell at the moment, so you can't sell the gifts either and things like that. It's a known issue, unfortunately. Any news about the special ship? We talked about it a few times. It could potentially be that Origin ship that we said was a leak and rumour, and it could be coming out later this month, or it might be something that's coming out later, or it might be something that CIG it's just a rumour. Are there female Vandal? I think there are. I think Vandal have children and stuff as well. Like the Vandal craft their first knife themselves and things like that, don't they? Yes, so currently no one can sell cargo at stations. Only that it was annoying to me and Zin earlier when we were playing. I expect them to fix that ASAP. How do you keep your head so shiny? It's mesmerising. It's just a natural shine. And poor camera setup. If you look directly into it, sometimes you can see a void into nothingness. How will the ship-to-ship docking work? So the expectation is that you'll get relatively close to do docking ports on a ship, and then when they're close enough, they'll auto-lock and sort of... Shoop. But you'll both have to accept the dock. Or the other ship won't have to be resisting the dock. Is there any way to redeem a referral code with an already existing account? You can't add a referral code to an account that's already been made. Hello, Board. What's your opinion on all the issues that have come with the new patch? Do you think they'll fix them before the end of the week? I think some of them could be fixed before the end of the week. Yeah. So some of the bugs and problems they can do a hotfix for sure. And some of them they could actually do a patch fix without having a 3.12.1 patch. They can just go quick little tiny mini update. So if they can get around to them and if they are solvable for the weekend, yes. Or over the weekend. When will Star Citizen go into beta? I'm expecting in about 4 years. What's the best fighter in the game? I don't know. It changes from patch to patch. I've been using the Saber today. Was very much enjoying that for bounty hunting. I think I got hit a couple of times and didn't take any damage. Do you think in the future that we'll be able to become different species, like Vandal or something? So they've basically said that after the game's release, or at least far in the future, they are considering people be able to be other alien races. So probably in the future of the game. I'm not sure if you'd be able to be Vandal, but Banu, Xian, and Tavaran sounds viable. What version do you think we will cross into 4.0? So 4.0 is literally going to be the version of the game that we get server meshing in and pyro in. Okay, that is when they are holding it for. So that could be 3.17. They go, actually, it's not called 3.17 because we've got pyro coming in. Bam, it's 4.0 now. In the future, when data running and exploration come online, will two people in a Mercury Star Runner be able to skim data from a carrack about a jump point and then hand the data in before the carrack does? I don't know. That's a very specific gameplay question for a gameplay loop that does not exist yet. Maybe. There's certainly going to be ways of making your own data or gathering your own data from the Mercury Star Runner. I'm not sure exactly how you'll be able to grab data from other people's computers on specific things and things like that. Love the idea of it all, though. Any news on saving MFD setups? They're supposed to be persistent at some point. Do you know when they will stop changing targeting? Oh my god, I totally get you, Easyberry. There's so much work to do in order for me to incorporate this for my program. No, I don't know when they're going to stop changing targeting. They're going to tweak it until it's in a relatively good place. And I would expect it to be a quarter after physicalized components come out and the new resource systems come out for piping. I think like a quarter after that, the targeting will probably be in a solid place. Hello, hello. How violent do you think this game will get in the future with deaths? From a scale of Minecraft to Mortal Kombat takedowns. Not too violent, but it will be stab in the neck or stab, stab, done. So, yeah, but closer to Minecraft than Mortal Kombat. Because I think they'll be relatively clean. The takedowns and kills. Is the Caterpillar command module dedocking coming when the Merlin functionality drops? If not, why not? So it is a different thing. Okay, they're very similar because it's detaching and reattaching of a module. However, the detachment of the command module means that the rest of the Caterpillar effectively can't move as a ship, and when it reattaches, it can. So the Caterpillar functionally requires that command module to function properly. So they could have that, and I think they should have that as an escape pod. That's the way I'd do it in the midterm. But the P-52 and the Constellation, they're two separate ships that can just dock. You see the difference? When do you think the new roadmap will be released? Within the next couple of weeks. I'm hoping at the end of next week is what I'm hoping. Do the Vandal lay eggs? I don't know. Like, they might. I'm not 100% sure on the Vandal, though. Like, they are, like, fish, aren't they? Like, fish creatures. Like, anglerfish. Will 4.0 be beta? Nope. Will not be near beta state. Since Vandal eat us, will we be able to eat them? Like baby Vandal burritos or nachos. Wow. You monster. It's Vandal, it's made of Vandal. Maybe that's why they're angry at us. With this patch, do you still prefer gimbal over fixed weapons? No, I'm happy with fixed weapons. I've been able to shred every target with fixed weapons so easily. I mean, it's, the fixed weapon assist is nudges the projectiles when they need to be. Do you think jump points will be an interesting feature for the future? Yes. Will it impact in-game economy greatly? Hugely. I mean, it's going to open up opportunities and go along with the dynamic economy that there's going to be a load of opportunities and stuff's valuable in different areas and certain areas require things, and then there's going to be blockades and there's going to be missions going on and the prices will be super dynamic and change everywhere. When do you think we'll get a new star system? I'm hoping we get the new star system, Burrow, at the end of next year. What are your personal wishlist items that you want to see in 3.13? The C2 Hercules. I want to wishlist physicalized items, physicalized components. So physicalized inventory. Cargo system updates so that we actually have the cargo decks having function. But Cargo 2.0 would be great with that as well. More updates to the reputation system, new missions. There's a huge amount on my wish list. Jeez. What video is this on the background? So it's a collection of a load of the Inside Star Citizens and development updates over the last few months. Well, last couple of months. Will Squadron 42 have a limited release to us that in the package before being released to the public? I don't think so. I think it's going to be released to sort of everyone at the same time. for the most part. I mean, they said they might release it very briefly, a stress test version to Evocati, like just before it's released. But I'll have to wait and see, I suppose. Where's a good location to pull my rock and do a little mining? Is Magda still good for mining? It's by any of the little Platinum Bay places. Platinum Bay? Something else? Do you think rock mining will be better money than the prospector? Right now, it's a good question. I haven't tested it fully. I don't 100% know. Eventually, I want more money to be able to be made in the prospector, in my opinion. But I suppose it's depends. Depends on the situation as well. Ether for mining at the moment. Okay, cool. What's Theatres of War status? We don't know. They haven't really given us much of an update for a while. We know it will be going to Evocati again at some point. I know, I happen to know that it's been played a lot internally by CIG for playtests. And they're making progress on it. But I don't know where it currently is in its development and how close they are to having an Evocati release and how close they are to getting that out to the public. Will cargo decks allow us to stockpile? Eventually, you will be able to rent space at them, so yes. With a land claim, can you claim an asteroid? So they implied that you would be able to land claim anywhere with a large enough area. So some people have said that. I'm not sure. I think it's mostly supposed to be for planetary landing. But then there are large asteroids in the same way that Levski is on Dalamar, which is a large asteroid, technically, I think, rather than a planetoid. So, huge asteroids you could probably land claim on. That basically are planets or moons. How will ship-to-ship docking work? We're expecting docking collars you need to line them mostly up, and then they will auto the last little bit and connect to each other. That's what we're expecting for ship-to-ship docking. Do you think RSI is earning enough money compared to weekly maintenance for running the servers in game? Yes. They made huge amounts of money. In the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, they made a ridiculous amount of money. The most money they've ever made in a single month. I think it's what it was 16, 17 million. Might have been more than that. Huge amount of money during that event. It was ridiculous. And they've made more money this year than they ever have. By some magnitude. I think almost double? Question mark? Hi, Board. Don't you think they should concentrate on the back end? I think that it's not mutually exclusive. They need to concentrate on developing the game in all forms, because all of it, developing it all, allows them to then develop it all. Like, you can't just work on the back end, because then when you build your game out, you're like, well, the back end needs this now actually as well. Oh, so you build all at the same time. The thing is that because Star Citizen, they are trying to make playable alphas every quarter as well. That is a huge drain on development resources that could be going into finishing off the game. Now, it's a double-edged sword. So you get the ability to rapidly iterate on stuff and get lots of people's eyes on it, and have that monetization model, and have something that is playable now, but also that slows development down. Yeah? So, is Boast building on/in? No, it is not currently in. Gas giants are confirmed, but they're not in the game yet. The new gas clouds are in. The pretty gas clouds everywhere. Q1, Q2, 2021, you'll see Crusade of the Gas Giants. That's the plan. Yeah, I think Star Citizen as a project is looking great, for sure. Will Nebula distort and inhibit sensors? Some will, yes. Not at the moment, though. What do you think the most stable patch was this year? Probably this one currently for me, so I need to play it a bit more. I haven't downloaded 3.12 yet, but will 30Ks continue to be as problematic? I mean, they'll still be problematic, because 30Ks are just a blanket term for any server disconnect, client to server disconnect. So if I unplugged my hub now, I'd get a 30K in Star Citizen. Yeah? But hopefully they'll happen less. They still happen, though. They still happen. I mean, I had a couple of 30Ks today, so... I mean, is base building on gas giants confirmed? I don't think so. I don't think you're going to be able to build base building on gas giants. Unless... maybe? Okay, so... let's go through this theory. Obviously, you've got Floating Cloud City on Crusader, Orison. But effectively, that's in orbit. Yeah? Well, it's in low orbit. And it's breathable atmosphere there, apparently, in low orbit. So that's an interesting one. Could we have little bases that either hover or anti-grav or are in orbit on gas giants that we build? I mean, we could. That could be a thing. I haven't heard about it. Long-term persistence is in, obviously. iCache. iCache is planned for, at the moment, what we believe, middle of next year. That's the sort of rough plan that we heard. What happened to persistence thing that was aiming for 3.12? Forgot the name. Yeah, probably iCache is what you're thinking. iCache is middle of next year now. Balloon foundations. What? What's going on? A balloon foundation for the floaty buildings. So maybe we can have floating bases one day. Why not? Fuck it, why not? The Scythe and the Clave have the piercing weapon to gouge hulls in lore. Is that still going to thing? Yeah, so plasma weapons and some of the other weapon types, they are building more damage types, and they probably will get around to those. Do you think gas giants will be habitable? I mean, so there's Orison, which is a floating city. So yeah. I mean, you're not going to be able to live on the surface of gas planets, but there might be ways of building little enclosures. Obviously, you can have your ship there. How's the deck, Sean? Hope you're doing well, sir. Thank you very much for the monies. Oh, you star. Hope you're doing well, sir. I haven't heard from you in ages. I'll drop you an email later. That's a good idea. Because I'm waiting on my 3080 to turn up to finish this build. I wonder what queue position I'm in. Hope you're doing well, sir. Does the future look bright for underwater bases or any underwater gameplay? So, we know there is going to be gameplay associated with the water, so swimming, and there's buoyancy and stuff, and we know that they've talked briefly about underwater exploration, and that might be a thing. I'm expecting it to be a thing to some extent. To what extent, we don't know. I want Bug Smashers back. Yes, so do I. I love Mark Bent as well. Mark Bent is part of the Crowbar Collective and made Black Mesa and stuff like that, or helped make it. He's a coder for them, or was. So, yeah, I mean, the future for underwater gameplay might not be bright, but it is at least visible. Will huge canyons and mountains be introduced in the next iteration of terrain? So they sort of have that in certain areas, and it's more viable to have that as part of their painting tools. So some areas might look a bit repetitive, some areas don't, though. I think that both Microtech and Hurston have hugely versatile amount of terrain, and a huge variety there. Sean, this is You guys did the cooler for this one, yeah? This is an Azatec pump, yeah? Let's hope it is. This thermal take 360 AR RGB sync, yeah? This, yeah? Hope it is. So bought it because it was really highly recommended, and I thought it was. I think it is. Let's assume it is. My face has gone weird. If it's not, I've got to buy another one. Because we're going to be setting the computer up with all Azatec coolers. So I wrapped my prospector around the pole on Hurston 1, but I was still able to refine the ore. Yes. Yes. Fantastic. Good. Oh, no. We did not do that one. You didn't do that one. Are you sure? Oh, it said you did. It's okay. It's okay. We'll get another one. It's okay. I think there's a new one. Okay. Well, what we do? Get on an email. We get on an email after this stream, and we make sure we got the correct coolers. Oh, mate, the build of this PC has taken over a year longer than I wanted. Because I'm bad. Thank you very much for Azatec for sending me an Alienware Aurora A10. But this was supposed to be partly for building this new PC. And now I'm in a queue for components. Now I've got the wrong cooler. Oh, I thought I was doing right. I'm just going to get my headset to do everything for me. She's just going to manage my life. I'm literally the worst. I appreciate everyone's love. I like to think that with BoredGamer videos, you get to know that you could do the same. You go, I could do YouTube. I could do what he's doing. It looks easy. No, it looks low effort and bad, because that's apparently what I do. Oh, I'm the worst. I appreciate all the support, Sean. This is why people don't want to work with me. This is why companies don't want to work with me. NordVPN, yeah, it does. What does it do? What is it? An antivirus or something. Oh, you'll send me some goodies. What? Thanks. Appreciate it. I like goodies. Merry Christmas. Oh. Fantex and ad data. Oh, there is a very good looking Fantex case that my editor's after. Actually, wait, just buy it. I don't want to say hook me up with a Fantex. Thank you. No, you could not have goodies, Summer Yeti. If you were going to give any goodies to someone else, Sean, like Summer Yeti, can you give them to me as well? I think I deserve twice the amount. Thank you very much, sir. Very much appreciate that. No worries. I need to talk to Zin. at some point. So this is how I do deals as well. This is how I do business deals. I do it live on stream. With me just doing everything right. I can't believe I thought I researched that cooler. I thought this stupid one. I'm the worst. At least it wasn't built with that. Can you imagine? And I was just saying, yeah, this is thanks to Azatec. Are you still using an X56 joystick or a different one now? So, I've used a Warthog, an X56, and loads of other joysticks. Pretty much every joystick, the T16000s and all that sort of jazz as well. The best stick I've ever used, and HOTAS, is the Virpil Constellation Delta Exodus. It is at magnitude better. It feels great. It's got a load of functionality. It's got everything I've ever wanted it to do. It doesn't feel too heavy. The throttle was amazing on it. That is from Virpil. They are a bit pricey, but it is 100% worth it. I typically use a mouse and keyboard, though. And the reason I use a mouse and keyboard is because it's easier for recording. It's easier for doing FPS and jumping around. However, more comfortably, and when I'm doing it sim-wise, the Virpil Constellation Delta is just better. It's such a superb experience. Oh, man. So how are you liking 3.12? Yeah, there's some great stuff in 3.12 for sure. I haven't even seen it all yet. I need. There's a lot more I need to play, and because I've been ill recently, and I'm still pretty ill now, I don't have the energy to be able to literally sit down and do it properly. I don't have the cognitive capacity to in the same way that I normally do to be able to plan stuff out. My superpower is planning and organisation of... Actually, I'm pretty bad at organising, but I'm pretty good at planning and keeping notes. Research. I'm good at research. So, we're getting a Tobii eye tracker as well. So, dual sticks, I know a lot of players swear by them. They say that they're absolutely great. And yes, technically that should give you the most functionality if you can get to handle them. I like the feel of a HOTAS. I like the throttle. I like the stick and throttle separately. It feels sim. Although you could argue that with dual stick as well. I know Noobify goes dual stick all the way. It is the best. So it's down to what you want. Voice attack is really, really, really great as a thing. It gives you so much more functionality, and head tracking is great as well. So these are things that you can build up in your sort of portfolio of things for the game. The Tobii eye tracker, that works natively with 3.12. Me and Zin are both getting Tobii eye trackers, and we're going to be doing some videos on that. I'm not sure of the size of the screen retail space that you need for a Tobii eye tracker to make it viable. I've got a 27-inch or 24-inch one now. Let's compare the screen size to my PP. It's 27 long, so it's 27 inches. Perfect. Okay, I think my monitor's just big enough to make use of the Tobii eye tracker in an efficient manner without it being ridiculous. Pedals are underrated. Yeah, I think pedals are pretty useful as well. So I've got pedals, but I never used them. Wasn't that new Origin ship supposed to come out in 3.12? There might be something for that. So all we had from that Origin ship was it was rumoured from Star Citizen leaks, and we didn't know. It was speculation or rumour. It had been seen in some office tours, and they found some potential files for it in the thing. But that doesn't mean it's definitely going to come out. Doesn't 100% mean it's a real thing. It's possible that it could be straight to flyable later in 3.12's patch cycle, or later, or never. So sort of bear that in mind. There's a good possibility that you'll see it at the end of December, though. Yeah, Game Glass is pretty sweet indeed. I agree. I lightly shill for Game Glass. Fire out. Thank you very much for the donation. Very much appreciated, sir. Oh, you're very kind. Thank you. When should we expect the Nomad for Alpha UEC in-game? Next patch. So, Q1 2021. Typically, there's about one patch between the ships coming out and then becoming in-game now. That's the sort of way they're trying to do it, I think. I might get my pedals set back up then. Or maybe grab some new pedals. Has there been any word on repair mechanics? I remember the design doc that was released a few years back. So expect them to still be sort of like trying to meet some of that repair doc. It would have evolved somewhat since then. The first state of repair you're going to see in game, though, is almost certainly we'll get physicalized components, and then you'll be able to remove components and put a component back in, and then sub-components you'll be able to move and put back in, and then, so that's basically repair or salvage, because you put a new component in, bam, you've repaired the ship. And then you're going to be able to also do some stuff with a multi-tool, probably, and also they're going to have relays, that the new power system that distributes power between areas, it's going to have relays between these areas which can blow and get damaged as well, which will need to go and physically tweak if they get blown or damaged on a larger ship, which is part of the repair gameplay. And ships aren't going to have a artificial health pool anymore at that stage. It's all going to be components take damage, that causes the ship to stop or be disabled, but you can also repair it at the same time. When will we get the radio altimeter and coordinates, you reckon? they're adding more and more to sort of coordinates, well, to navigation-esque systems. We know that they're rebuilding the star map at the moment. We know that they're looking at coordinate-based systems and sharing locations at the moment. But we don't know when that's coming in and exactly how that will be displayed to us. Do you think the Mercury Star Runner will be available in game to both UEC? Yep. Will definitely at some point. I would expect that Q1 or Q2 2021. They seem to have fixed repair and refuel not working on landing pads and hangars. Yes. It's good, isn't it? You can play the game more readily, but you can't sell stuff at a lot of places at the moment, which is really annoying. Will it be true repair of components like shields, or will it be expected to have spares? So the first stage, I would expect for us to have spares. That would be my expectation. But it might be that you can take a component out and fiddle with it. Can we talk about the new claim timers and costs, and how the whole community feels it's a catastrophic move? Not the whole community, but I'd say the massive majority of the community. We are having org members migrating en masse to other games. So, the 3.12 has what I would deem a poor choice of addition at this stage, which is the new claim timers for ships. So they've gone and revised the claim timers and expedite fees for all the ships in the game. Starter ships are BAM! You just get them back really easily and quickly now. Okay, so they've actually made those easier to get back. Expedite fee, you pay for them, you get them back instantly, pretty much. Boom! That's actually pretty good. Yeah? That's pretty sensible. Get the starter ship straight back into your hands, nice and cheaply. Every other ship in the game has gone up in the amount of time it takes to get back in your hands when you claim it. And the expedite fees have gone up hugely as well. And that also means that even when you expedite, you still have to wait longer than you would have originally waited. So it takes like 45 minutes to get a Mercury Star Runner back, and if you expedite it for like 7,000, 8,000 UBC, it's 15 minutes. But if you, for the 890 jump, so you have to wait 4 hours. And expedite, you have to wait an hour. It's like 40,000 credits as well to expedite. So at the moment, when you can have to reclaim a ship because the server's crashed, that is not ideal. Yeah? That's not an ideal way of doing it. In fact, it's very restrictive and prohibitive to play. It means that you're unable to try and play the game. You're unable to test it so well. It makes it just so much harder for a lot more players. If you've only got one medium ship, yeah, or like you've got a Mercury Star Runner, you have to stop and wait for at least 15 minutes at a time. And that's if you pay 7,000. I mean, 7,000 isn't that expensive, but it's not cheap either. And there's going to be a lot of times you don't have any money because you've like just been messing around. So for some players, for a lot of players, for most players, that's pretty shitty, pretty shitty addition. And I think people are rightly annoyed. Thanks very much for the donation again, Sean. Very much appreciated, sir. Do you think a wild type as well? Do you think the mechanic they detailed for repairing physicalized hull damage will still be realized in some way? So you're talking about the lattice and the external repair with the... Not the Vulcan. The Vulcan does the drone repair. The... What's the name of the bloody repair ship? What ship am I thinking of? What ship am I thinking? What's the... Crucible. Even though you've spelled them incredibly wrong, Citizen Shenanigans. Crucible. That's the one. So the Crucible is supposed to be able to build a lattice around a ship. It's got two types of repair. It's got little arms that come out, and it's supposed to build like a little lattice, or it's supposed to literally go into the hull and weld the hull and seal it all shut or whatever. But it also has an internal repair bay for like a fighter, like a Hornet, to come in and be rearmed, repaired, and refueled. So that scale of repair for capital ships, yes, that'll still be realised. You'll still be able to use the Crucible to repair large ships, external hulls and things. That is one of its major roles in the game. Will it be done exactly like that, building a lattice? Maybe. There's also the Vulcan, which is the drone repair, rearm, and refuel ship, which I think is going to be very, very useful in so many ways. For repair, rearm, and refuel. Do you think the CCUs will carry on to release, or maybe CIG will end them with prior warning? So they've said, sort of, the last thing we heard on CCUs and upgrades to ships is that they want to end them around beta time. Yeah? So around beta, they'll end with a lot of warning the CCU system and the upgrade system. Has there been a patch today? So we've got 3.12 live. And you might see some little tweaks. You could see some hotfixes on servers. Any update to the new roadmap? We're still waiting for the new roadmaps. That they should be by the end of this year. They talked about mixing different substance types and curing the repair optimally in order to get the best repair quality. Expect there to be some gameplay to repair. But exactly what, I don't know. We could look at the old stuff, but it's obviously going to have evolved somewhat. I expect it requires different materials, and you could get different qualities of repair based on that, based on how you do it. But they want there to be a lot of the mini games they want for this stuff. They want them to be more physical. You doing the thing as much as possible. So, like with repair gameplay on large ships, when a relay goes, boom, you're going to have to get an engineer there to go there and replace a component or whatever. It's not going to be like a pipe system game, or maybe it will be. Fuck it. Maybe they go, actually, we'll do some little silly mini games with that as well, some time-consuming ones. Do the little pipe system. Will we be able to swap capsized parts using a crucible like engines? Or, okay, so capital size components, as far as I'm aware, require specialized capital ship docks to change. Could we change them with tractor beams and certain ship types? Potentially, but I don't know about that gameplay yet. That seems sensible. That seems like a viable potential option. How will we reclaim fees and time on ships that eventually have their insurance lapse? So, if you lose a ship with no insurance left on it, the expectation is that you've lost the ship. He'll probably warn you before taking it out in the future. In fact, I'd make sure that CIG would put that in their game. You are trying to take this ship. You're trying to spawn this ship without insurance. Are you sure? But there could be statutory insurances and things like that as well. So even if you lose a ship without insurance, maybe you have to pay like 75% of its cost to get it back or something. Question mark. Yeah, no worries. I appreciate people asking questions. That is the content right here, based on people asking me stuff. With recent size increase with the merchantman, with cargo staying the same, what changes will be coming to the merchantman to quantify the size change? So it will be the general space inside for the crew to sleep in. Obviously there's shops there, so they probably needed the correct size shops and stuff for them to be modular. There's some form of synergy going on with the Banu Defender we know about, so it might have some form of dock inside the ship, or some sort of semi-dock. So, but typically it's because the Banu Merchantman was an older ship, and they built those ships. When they concepted them, they went, we reckon they're going to be these size, but when they actually build them, they white box the interior, and then they go, well, actually, they need to be bigger for all the stuff they need inside. So when actually putting all the rooms in, it's grown in size. Matthew, do you think we will ever have another single-person mining ship, such as an Argo miner? I hate to miss ships. I think we could see some other mining ships, and I think we could see some modular components, modular parts for ships that make them miney. Like maybe a ship that is all based around just a utility mount, and it can it's more of a utility knife, and you can just change it to lots of different types of whatever. So a tractor beam or a mining beam or whatever. I do appreciate the lots of people tracking donations at me today. That's very kind. $200 for the Tobii eye tracker, 200 plus per stick or throttle, 200 for each mount. Hide those receipts from the wife. I run it through the business. You can just go, no. You got to spend money to make money, eh? Smart. Look at my eyes and my feet. They're controlling things. That's what I'll be doing. Also, I'm not married, nor have a girlfriend for probably that very reason. Because I'm a monster. I'm a monster. It's really prohibitive to date anyone in a lockdown as well. Although I'd actually say that's probably helped me somewhat, because the girls don't have to meet me. That means they're more likely to like me. When will item 2.0 be finally finished? Okay, so iCache is required. And really we're getting cargo. Okay, so item 2.0, the item system. We need iCache, we need the pipe system fully done, and then we need physicalized components. Like, that's actually quite a lot. I do expect it all to be done next year. Bam. There's actually a lot more going on with item 2.0 as well, and yeah. Is it going to be better cargo missions? Yes, in the future. They're going to develop them out a lot more. Obviously, they want you to use that tractor beam and other tractor beams and stuff like that in the future. We can't use tractor beams in armistice zones at the moment, so tractor beams are less useful than they should be. But it's going to be lots more interesting cargo missions, which also will have other missions touch on them too. It will be like liberating cargo from certain areas, or you're trying to get cargo, but it's from this in the middle of a battle. Things like that. The Cygnus Spider Miner should be a thing eventually, yeah? Is it the Cygnus or the Cygnus? Would you say performance is improved with this patch? No, I would not. I have experienced a lower overall frame rate so far. Physicalized components gets me all excited, nice. So this is the mining tick. It's the Cygnus. I think it's a manned. It's a manned man thing, I think. Any word on fixing the Mercury Star Runner fuel efficiency and intakes, not just adding fuel capacity? And is there any word on another entrance exit to the Mercury Star Runner? So, they said that no other exit to the Mercury Star Runner currently was a mistake. I would expect to see a ladder hatch appear at some point. Something pretty simple. External ladder hatch, bam. So yeah, they added fuel capacity to the Mercury Star Runner in the short term, which helps a lot. The fuel efficiency, yeah, I would like to see the intakes go up a bit in the amount they intake. Yeah, I think that would go a long way to help. Because I still don't think it's great just increasing the fuel capacity. Well, that has helped a lot. See you later, Hexadus, mate. Can't they do most game fixes back end without needing a front end patch? Depends on the fix. Depends on what they need to do. Depends what it is. Some, yes. Any new use for Rec yet? Nope, but I would expect when they have Theaters of War in, we'll have to use Rec a lot more. Is cargo from ships recoverable upon destruction in 3.12? So, I have not tested it. I was told that when ships explode, appropriate cargo spawned, but not too much. I have not tried that with 3.12 live. Yeah, the Mercury Star Runner fuel capacity has been increased quite a lot, and it's actually made the ship hugely more viable now, because obviously it doesn't experience the problem so much because it's got a huge amount more fuel capacity. And as long as you refuel your hydrogen fuel every so often, you're fine. However, I do think its intake should be a bit better, so it's even better. We want more efficiency as well. Be very careful about what refining process you use. Some offer a better payout. Also, different refineries have different yields. Yeah, so different proficiencies are going to affect your bottom line hugely. Or at least could potentially affect it hugely. So sort of bear that in mind. It's worth doing the better processes that take longer. So, has anyone destroyed a ship with cargo in it in 3.12 live yet? So I have not. And I want to know, does it spawn some cargo boxes that you can then steal again or not? Someone told me that it did, but I have not yet tested it. Has there been any news on the combined arm modes? I just talked about it, a little bit about it. Theatres of War. So Theatres of War is the combined arms, sort of more Battlefield-esque type mode that they've got. We are waiting on the next sort of Evocati build for that. I would expect Evocati testing to start for that in January again, and then we'll know a bit more about what's going on. Obviously, it's been delayed somewhat. However, I do know that CIG are doing very regular playtests for Theatres of War. Internally, and they've made a load of progress on it. The Mercury Star Runner is not yet viable in game, but it will be potentially 3.13, the Q1 2021 patch. Will there be a Christmas sale? There is currently a Christmas sale. There's a load of game packages available, and there's also the Talons available. Could there be more? Yes, there could be more. Could there be more around Christmas and the latter half of December? I would expect some stuff. Is there any news on the new roadmap? We're expecting it at some point in the next couple of weeks. I want to see the Lynx rover. So, we've obviously got the Origin rover. I've crashed a ship with full Prospector load. But then, all the cargo was still available to mine. So I assume it did not spawn around my wreckage. Oh, I see. Okay. Cargo boxes exist for about 2 minutes when a ship's destroyed. So that's what someone was saying to me. They said they despawn very fast. But I have not tested it. I need to test it. I need to test it a couple of times. I'll test it with self-destructing your ship as well as getting destroyed by another player. See if that affects anything as well. Would you expect the Banning Merchantman in 2021 or later? Okay. If the Banning Merchantman becomes a focus for them, they could get it out by the end of next year. But it depends on the focus and what the priorities for CIG are. Obviously, the Banning Merchantman is incredibly popular and wanted, and it is very old now. It is a legacy ship. It's one of the oldest ships that still isn't in game. Summer Yeti 2022 sounds very realistic. Sounds like cargo might be fudged but not physicalized. Yes, that's the way I would describe it as well. So people said that it spawned boxes at the moment of appropriate cargo, but a small amount of them for a limited time. So, and that's one of the reasons you'd want to use the gravity beams, tractor beams. That's the one. Oh yeah, and we can't sell boxes now at the moment anyway. Can't sell a load of the stuff because there's a bug in game. So hopefully they'll sort that bug out ASAP. It might be a hotfix they can deploy for the weekend. Do you think we will see Pyro with the introduction of iCache or before? Later. We'll see Pyro later. Pyro's coming with server meshing. And that's when deem that patch to be 4.0. iCache is coming before that, all of that. So is everyone seen the reunion Mercury Star on a short? Yeah, we've all seen that now. Everyone's aware of if you recruit someone, you both get a Dragonfly with lifetime insurance. Becoming a recruit means that they need to have signed on with your referral code and spent at least $40. Bear that in mind. There's a few holiday things going on at the moment. There's a few competitions coming on for CIG. There's all these boxes and little presents around everywhere, which are just everywhere around landing zones. Not just New Babbage, but all landing zones from what I've seen. Huge amount over Lorville. But my characters are full of them now, and you can't sell them, which is really upsetting me. There's a variety of screenshot contests going on at the moment, if you want to get involved with that. Every day there's a new little gift for the 6 days of Star Citizen Christmas. At the moment you can grab a little badge. And then there's discounted game packages, 10 to 15% off, which is actually pretty good. Come with 2 years insurance. There is subscriber monies. You can get subscriber money off, discounts on subscriptions. I can't words. I'm ill. To merch, I've got the penguin eco again. I would have grabbed a Crusader mug if they were in stock, but they don't appear to be. That is a shame. Yeah, I am looking forward to what I think will be coming out later on in December, or at least soon, which is the dynamic server events. Some point in 3.12 anyway. Things like Xenothreat, things like Idris Fleet, or a fleet of ships flying around that's basically a raid that lots of people on the server get access to and have to work together to try and take out them as they attack a station. That's actually quite a long, protracted fight. So I'm really looking forward to some of this stuff. Just lots of waves of ships coming in would be pretty good. Vandal Swarm in the Persistent Universe. That's actually pretty hard to do. And it's what Star Citizen needs. It's these dynamic events, or at least these events where there are wave assaults, there are big fleets. Let me defend a ground complex against waves and waves of ships and people coming in on the ground. That'd be great. How much fun would that be? So this is the sort of stuff that Star Citizen needs as its bread and butter at this stage, in my opinion, because it's something they could put in game, and it keeps people busy, and it keeps them entertained, and it keeps them having fun with some pretty simple mechanics. And they can have harder and harder difficulties of that. So again, I've just got a pain in my heart. It's fine. It's probably not killing me. Right. Let's go quickly through any other questions quick. And then I'm going to go and have a nap. And then after that, I'm probably going to record a quick playthrough of Battlefield Blood on one of the hard difficulties. Because I really enjoyed Back 4 Blood. And I want to chuck that on the either on my second account, or actually I'll chuck it on for people that are Patreons or YouTube members. I'll chuck it on the exclusive content for that, because that'll be me and Sin playing that in harmony this time. Yeah, I hydrate all the time. It's not the most environmentally friendly, using lots of plastic bottles, but all of these bottles are both 100% recycled and recyclable. These are all made from plastic bottles. Pay a little bit more to make sure you can be a bit lazier with recycling. Not with recycling, got to be on recycling. Be a bit lazier buying plastics. Chop. Go night night, bud. I'm starting to go a bit mad, and Sean, I need to talk to you. Make sure I get. If that is not correct as a cooler, I'm dumb. We'll just double check to make sure that one's not. And we'll make sure they're on the same page, because sometimes I think I'm smart, and then I'm dragged back down to earth, and people remind me that I'm dumb. With them wanting to put VR in, how do you believe it will work with force reactions and not causing motion sickness? They don't need to necessarily show the force reactions on you by jogging you around. You can show it on your face. They can have loads of stabilization for that sort of stuff. So what I expect to see is that we'll have Vulkan integration, then CIG will talk a little tiny bit about VR, and eventually you will see VR in Squadron 42 first, and then they'll talk about it for putting it in Star Citizen. I don't know how long it's going to be before it would be in Star Citizen. It might be a while after its release, even. Asmodeus, beer money. Put that heart in its place. Oh, appreciate. Next time I get some sort of pain in my heart, I'll remind you of that, and I can get money. Apparently that's how you receive donations. And Steeha, thank you very much for the bits. Appreciate it. Oh, Star. It's been a very profitable stream for lots of people chucking money at me. When you get rid of those damn bannies. Can you CCU the free Dragonfly? Yes, you should be able to. So yeah, it's a lifetime insurance token. YouTube just suggested Board's video about the 3.1 release. I was like, how long ago was that then? 3 months. For every point. It was some time ago. 3 years ago? God. If you get multiple referrals, do you get multiple free Dragonflies? I think it only works once, but I've not seen a confirmation on it yet. I was thinking the same thing. I think there might be a thing about multi-boxing in Star Citizen's terms of service. If there's not, there might be one eventually. So be aware of, you probably can't multi-box in the future, in my opinion. Did they fix the headlights on the Freelancer Max? I don't know. Can't sell presents or personal inventory items. That appears to be what's happening currently. I do expect they will get it fixed very soon, though. I appreciate all the love. Thank you so much. When will we switch to 4.0? So 4.0 is literally going to be saved as the name of the patch that has server meshing and pyro in it. That could come at the end of next year. That is what I'm hoping for. Do you think we'll get creatures in 2021? They have dedicated teams working on creatures currently. We could start to see some simple creatures in 2021 at the end of 2021. I think it's more likely they'll show them off around that time, and then we'll get them a little bit later. But it depends on their priorities. And we'll know more about their priorities when we see the roadmaps that are coming later this month. What's that video you're playing? So it is a video of a lot of development posts and inside Star Citizens and that sort of stuff over the last few months. Do you think it's possible the Nomad's exterior cargo could possibly be a deterrent to eager pirates wanting to disable a ship by shooting the aft area? I see what you mean, yeah. It's an interesting one, isn't it? It could also be a way of squid inking, like you might be able to eject that cargo directly in their faces and things. So everyone has been given a Dragonfly until the 11th of January as well. You've got access to a Dragonfly until the 11th of January. Right. I am going to dash off because I am pretty ill still. Thank you very much for joining me today. It's very much appreciated. Thank you very much for people chucking loads of money at me. As Moodius and Matthew and Steeha. Why am I bad with names? A wild type. Aztec Sean. Thank you so much, Sean, as well. Like, appreciate you being here today. Dio, Robert Johnston, the E-Paladin. Lots of Robert Johnston ones because he's a monster. Exodus, lots of people. And Sarge as well. Me and Sarge had to bet and he sent me $100. I bet him something about refinery decks. Thanks, Sarge. You are watching. You know I love you. You are one of my favourite people. You're a good chap. Right. So wait. They have an issue with a person having 2 computers and 2 accounts running next to each other. I don't know. So multi-boxing, and so if you were flying 2 ships in a fight together, controlling both of them for an advantage, they might have a problem with that. I'm not 100% confirming that, but I would expect them to eventually have a policy on multi-boxing, if they don't already. So just be aware. That's where I think it's going. If I buy an alt and get one of the game packages using my code, and then I exchange it and gift my main something, will I keep my lifetime insurance Dragonfly? Yes, as long as the other account has spent $40. If they spent $40, as long as you don't get a refund, you can melt something or whatever, or upgrade it and then send it somewhere else, I suppose. But the other account needs to have spent $40. As far as I'm aware, that's all. And you'll get any of the normal referral bonuses as well, which I think that one is, you get a badges. Is it badges? You get some weapons or something. But yes, thank you very much for watching today. Very much appreciated. I am going to chuck it over to someone else. It is streaming. The Star Citizen. We got Super Mac Brothers, we got Subliminal, we got Maya. Whoever chucks a name in first, we'll go host them. And we've got a preference. Don't have to have a preference. Pick someone random. Right, we are going to give Maya some love. Boop. Thank you so much for watching today. Very much appreciated. Love you loads. It's my I'm pretty ill still update. But hopefully I'll be able to get a lot more content out over the weekend. I'm sorry if it's been a bit slow and a bit low effort at the moment. 3.12 coming out while I've been ill has not been great. I wish it had come out next week, in fact. On Saturday, we're doing an event with Synchronizers, and we're going to be fighting some Idris, so you'll see a load of content with that with me and Sin. And there's a lot more coming up for the rest of the year, so even though there's only a couple of weeks left, we've still got a lot planned. I will feel better, hopefully. Well, I feel a lot better already. Like I feel like a viable human again, but I'm still pretty rough, and I still need to. I'm exhausted, basically. My side hurts. But thanks very much for watching. Love you guys loads. Thanks for the love, and thanks for all the money. Woo!